What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome. We're gonna get started in a few hot seconds. If you are here, let me know where you're watching from. We're gonna get started in just a few minutes. I'm just making sure everything is connected the way it's supposed to be, so people can watch it on live stream on LinkedIn or YouTube and get all that stuff going the right way. Okay, let me give it one more second here for people to who are watching live. I know a lot of people watch on replay, and that's okay too. We're gonna post this on YouTube, and you're gonna be able to see all of this stuff. But if you're just jumping in, welcome. We're talking about email marketing, email drip, what that looks like for workflows, what that looks like with automations, and different trigger points. And we're just going to be talking about email. So if you got questions, jump up, drop them in. We're going to talk very casually for the next 30 minutes. And first things first, if you don't know who I am, welcome. My name is Bart if you're new around here, and we're talking about email marketing today. We're going to be diving into some of the basic stuff about emails, why it works really well, how to get a really genuine and proper hook to get people to listen and engage with you on email. And then we're going to build one together. Why not? Why not build one together where we can see exactly what's happening with that, and we can kind of see exactly what's happening in developing one. It's not something that's super complicated, but I do think it's something that everybody needs in terms of getting exactly what you're looking for. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, in the description, I'm going to add some of the resources that we're talking about. If you're watching on YouTube, it's already there. And then some of the resources are really good. They're previous links to blogs that we've done, previous white paper or lead generation stuff that we've done as well. I'll drop that type of stuff inside the chat. Let me put that right now inside of for the people that are watching on LinkedIn. So there we go. Boom. And done. So, first things first, email is something that is not just, exists for people that have huge lists. You don't have to have a million people or 25 or 50,000 people on a list. If you have a small group of people on a list that want to hear from you, that's very valuable. That's something that you should not, look down upon. I myself do not have a ginormous list. We have a couple hundred people that subscribe to us, and that helps us be genuine in building a community that belongs to us. Because no matter what, I can always convert or change software or platform into a different place and take those emails with me. That's the beauty of email. Email is something that is very more personal. So if you're in a spot where your social media is not resonating, or it's hard for you to keep up with all the sales calls or leads that are happening, a great way to get people that are just maybe lukewarm, almost warm leads inside your sphere of marketing is to get them on your email list. Let them hear from you once in a while, understand who you are, and then you can slowly put them into a different funnel, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. How to get people into the right spot, into the right funnel, and what the differences are between all these different streams of emails. And we've done conversations about email before. So, like I mentioned in the descriptions or the chat, you'll be able to see. We talked about one of our white papers is email copy templates. So they're like swipe copy, so you can like take them, use them. They're going to help you close sales, especially if you have a digital product and you're trying to get people to move forward with a decision. This would lead them towards that. We also have a couple blogs that we've written. We've written one just recently, how to grow your email list. The link is in the description. We wrote one for interior designers about email marketing for interior designers. That was also there. Email copywriting to keep readers engaged, email copywriting for newsletters to keep readers engaged. There's tons of resources there that we've been able to put together just for you guys, just to make sure that you're getting access to it. Everything that I just mentioned is free. There's no like charge for that or anything like that. So we're very I don't know. We're open handed with a lot of this information. We don't want it to kind of be just for, okay, if you do X, Y, Z for us, you'll be able to get it. everyone needs to have access to a lot of their um, readership or viewership, and sorry, I lost the word there, and having it be able to be really accessible is unique and important. Some people prefer to communicate only with social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a lot more tedious, where, like we're going to talk about here, the automations and workflows that you could build inside of email kind of makes it the better option, at least for me. You know, as a creator, why is email marketing useful if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, a digital creative? You know, scaling your business on your own terms means thinking about exactly what you want. And if you want ability, that's great. Or do you want revenue? That's also great. Or do you want something that's kind of the balance of the two? You want a lot of flexibility, you want, increase in revenue, or the bottom line really matters. And email marketing is one of the top channels to spread the word about your business. It's not just used to drive sales, but it can build community, an audience of people who are looking forward to see what's next. And especially if you're a creator, what's next is really important. People binge content now, so content creators have to ramp up how much content they're delivering and producing. And you can keep your community involved and engaged by letting them know, hey, here's where we're at. It doesn't have to be a finished product, but here's the conversation, here's the pipeline, here's how we're moving forward with things, here's how you can get ready for the next thing that we're going to be doing, because it's going to be great. We want you to be along for the ride. And again, community, community, community. Email, really got to think about it as like your own private, like, group chat. And how do you get people in there that are the right people? Because you don't want a list full of people who are not engaged, who don't really care, who are passive, because you're spending money on these platforms to run them. And if they're not necessarily engaging, it's not going to be valuable or beneficial to you in any way. The best part about emails is you're getting into the inboxes of people who genuinely want to see what's next, and genuinely want to see and hear from you. So it's not like you're just shooting darts into the dark, but it's actually like you're actually promoting and speaking about something that you know they feel most connected to you, and they want to hear from you. I already like have tons of emails that I receive from people that I care about, people that I think are really dope or really creative. And what that does for me is, even if though I may not read them immediately as they get in, I use a filing system and get to them eventually. There's people like Dave Shrine, who's a marketer, or I wear lots of glasses. I own more than 15 pair. It's a problem. I love getting emails from glasses companies to find out about sales, if they have promotions, buybacks, or whatever. Buy one, get one, all that type of stuff, because I'm interested in hearing from them. And again, do I purchase every time they send me an email? No, but I want to keep tabs on what's coming up, what's happening. And if there's something that aligns exactly with what I want, let's say a specific pair of glasses, or a specific course from one of my favorite marketers, and I want to jump in on that, say, great, perfect time, perfect place, but I have the information. That's how you got to think about your emails. And if you don't already have an email marketing platform or program that you're using, ain't no better time than the present. So there's having the right tool for the right job makes a big difference. You guys already know that if you've ever built an IKEA shelf. So there's different kinds of email marketing platforms. The best ones that I've come across, not the best, this is not a definitive list by any stretch of the imagination. You got Drip or Klaviyo for e-commerce. You have Mailchimp, which is kind of like all-encompassing. When people think about email marketing, they've done a really good job of making people think about Mailchimp. Even though it's not my favorite per se, but it has a big all-around marketing engine now, where they're trying to help you build landing pages and deliverables. Like, they're doing a lot of stuff over there. And for some people, and a lot of people actually, it might be the right choice for them. There's ConvertKit, again, ease of use, Flowdesk, ease of use, even ActiveCampaign, which brings in a lot of sales and CRM marketing aspects to it all in one. And there's lots of stuff like MailerLite and like The list can go on and on and on. For the longest time, when I was working for other companies, Mailchimp was like the de facto list generator and or email marketing platform. And I moved to Drip, but then Drip moved to Ecom. And as of late, I've kind of been messing around with ConvertKit and Flowdesk just to see what is the best way for us to communicate and connect with our audience. And it's very easy to move between all of these platforms because most of your stuff is just basic data entry, right? So you can do a CVS list. We don't have to go into all of that. Anyways, either way, you want to build a runway for your business and connect your audience, it, connect to your audience that you own, rather than just talking to people and then everything gets changed and changed and changed. And if you're just starting out, like I said, you don't have to have the most elaborate list. You don't have to have a huge list. You don't need to have all this type of stuff in, a weekly or a bi-weekly newsletter and funnels and campaigns. You can start literally with just like a once a month newsletter or even a couple one-off emails here and there. But the point is, all the marketing that you're doing, you could spend a lot of effort trying to understand and keep up with the ever changing social media algorithm like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, all that kind of stuff. You can spend a lot of time nursing warm leads in one-on-one conversations. I don't know about you, but my time's pretty valuable. Or it's been proven that it's kind of a 38 to 1 return on investment, up to 38 to 1 return on investment on connecting with your audience with email. So email is highly valuable. There's lots of ways that you can actually win with email. So we're going to jump into the example real quick. But before that, there's no point in talking about the workflows and automations if we don't actually talk about the content itself. You can't put lipstick on a pig and expect that everything is just going to be honky dory, right? And you can't expect that people are going to read your emails, no matter just because you have a nice workflow or a nice list of emails that you're putting through. That's so we have to talk about the functionality, or the readability rather of your email. So we have to create engaging content. And that's the hardest part, at least for me when I was first starting out. Creating engaging content is so much work. It takes so much pressure and effort, and there's so many things that can go wrong because you don't know what you don't know. And you can try to read as much as you can from different courses and applications, and you can kind of see what you can glean from that. But the best way to do it is to kind of do a bit of a trial and error, lots of A/B testing. So we're going to talk about the outcome. Most people who want to get involved with email marketing is either one of two things: finding out how to increase your open rate, or getting content in front of lots of people. And the only way that you're going to do that is writing great subject lines, writing great copy and content. That's the only way. That's the only way you're going to get people to read it and actually potentially convert from it. And there's three rules I'm going to quickly jump through to kind of keep people engaged and interested, and to get those opens on those emails. That's one of the major metrics. Is going to be your open rate. So number one, keep it clear. Number two, keep it concise. Number three, keep it cool. And I'm just going to go quickly through some of the um, those three rules of what I keep in my head when I'm writing a subject line. Clear, it literally means writing a subject line. When someone clicks it, it has to match what the copy is actually inside. We call that clickbait on like YouTube and stuff like that, where you say something outlandish just to get the open, but then they bounce from that really quickly because you didn't deliver on what you promised. You want to be concise. The second thing, you want to front load as much of the power words, the good stuff, anything that will hook your reader, get them excited, make them feel like they're a part of the significant transformation. And we talk a lot about transformation on one of our previous videos and on the More Life podcast that I'm a part of. About that's exactly what we do with our clients. We want transformation. So how do you show that to your clients? Front load that, put that near the top, because that's the hook that people actually want to get, is what you're delivering for them, whether it's a product or a service. And then cool is literally the tone of how you are communicating with people. You have to write your emails in a way that's conversational and that is a way that people are going to understand. Okay, this is something that it's not just necessarily me talking at you. You want to write in a way that's open, and you want to write it in a way that is like you're there with them and you're talking to them. And the disposition that I put in myself when I'm writing an email is, imagine you're talking with somebody and you kind of have their attention, but not really. So you're not going to be rude in person, right? If someone's kind of not paying attention while you're telling them a story, you're not going to be like, "Are you listening? Did you hear what I said?" You're going to be like, "Hey, as I was saying, because you guys are being interrupted, you know, oh yeah, did you remember what I mentioned this?" That's the disposition. You want to remind them when you're writing multiple emails to people, especially inside of a campaign. Okay, so there's different kinds of workflows, different kinds of campaigns, all that kind of stuff. And the easy buckets to put them in are going to be like a welcome sequence, which we've done, I think, a video or two on welcome sequence on the YouTube channel. You can check that out. An opt-in incentive, which that's probably one of the best ways to start. Give away something for free. And then your opt-in incentive can then lead to a workflow sequence. Sorry, into a welcome sequence, a nurture sequence, which is literally like a funnel or a sales campaign. Basically, you're navigating and walking somebody through to a point of a decision, and that's how you're going to know, is this person for real, or is this person just here for the free stuff? And that's, again, works really well in keeping your list with people that are actually interested in being on your list and engaging with you. And then lastly, there's email courses. There are ways to monetize some things that are on email. And again, you might be providing something that is really powerful, but requires multiple sessions. And it's kind of like a nurture or a welcome campaign mixed together, where you're walking them into the subject matter, and then you're also nursing them along the way to get them to the point where they kind of feel like, okay, I understand some of the skill set that you bring. So with any automation, there's always going to be a trigger that sets off the automation, causing that action to begin. Think about it this way: if you have a smart speaker at home, the trigger would be Alexa, play Spotify. And the action would be Alexa playing the Spotify. I'm sorry if you watch this near an Alexa. In email marketing, it's the exact same thing. The trigger action is usually sent out an email, right? That's usually the trigger action, is like, okay, a form will be the trigger, the action will be the email. So let's say you signed up for my course, I'm going to send you a follow up email. That's the trigger and action. And the trigger usually is when somebody added to a segment or they opt into something, right? So for automation, it'd be like if somebody signs up for this sign up form and gets added to this segment, that's the trigger. Then send them this series of emails. Again, this is very basic stuff, but for people that are just learning and just jumping in, it makes sense for you to understand what some of these words mean, because you might be just starting down the path of figuring out, how can I leverage my influence into a more meaningful way. Let's say you have lots of followers on a platform like Instagram, but it's hard to navigate all just DMs and actual comments and keep people engaged and having to repeat yourself multiple times. And you don't want to be too salesy by just posting about yourself all the time. This is where, when you're building something, it actually helps to have an email platform where you can actually go through the process, talk about it, have a couple email that you write once really well that speak specifically to the people that, like I said at the beginning, want to hear from you. Okay, so we got all that other stuff out of the way. It does take a while for, I don't want to ever just jump into something without explaining it. So the big thing is going to be, when you understand those concepts, what type of sequence you're looking to do, whether it's a nurture, a welcome, an opt-in, or a course, and you also understand, okay, there's a specific way to write hooks and subject lines. Okay, the best thing to do then is to map it out. You can use FigJam, Miro, pen and paper is always amazing as well. Those things are going to help you just plot out. Like, I put a lot of stuff on paper and pen. You'll see that right there. Just plot it out and write down, okay, I'm going to write an email that's going to nurture. And we're gonna just welcome them, or this is after they downloaded a free guide. Say, hey, this is a free guide. You should have got it by now. And then after that, we'll talk to them about this. We'll talk to them about that. And we're gonna go through this real quick. And for this, we're gonna use Flowdesk. I just literally started using Flowdesk, and let me share my screen here. We're gonna talk a little bit about some of these things and see how well we can do. So here's Flowdesk. This is one of these email marketing platforms, and it's very easy to get started. I literally made an account yesterday. You should try this out. And normally, like I said, I'm more used to Drip, but Drip has moved in the last couple of years to ecom, and my business is not ecom. So a lot of the stuff that they specialize in is in that e-commerce world and its integration with Shopify and stuff like that. So as you can see here in the back end, we have a list for just emails and folders and stuff like that. And we're just gonna go right over here to like a workflow. And we're gonna start a new workflow. And I'm gonna go start from scratch. Just go test 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna start a workflow. Let's go, cannot be located. Oh, create a new workflow. Let's just go to test. Here we go. All right, when does test email begin? It begins, we have to click a trigger. Begin this trigger when someone is added to a segment, just like we spoke about, and the segment is a website opt in. Okay, maybe I'm giving something away for free, and it's an opt in that's on my website. You can name it more specifically. And then what happens when this happens? You're in your options. No matter what the platform is, they're going to maybe use different words, but these are the best. The reason why I'm using Flowdesk is because they use the clearest words that I would normally use. An email, delay, a time delay, a condition, or an action. These are your variables. And when you're building something, let's say the first thing we want to do is an email. Okay. So we want to create a new email for this. So let's say I have some emails here that I've saved. I'm going to go here, and this is like we have a white paper that we're doing. We're going to do plain text, just keep it very simple. We'll do something like this. All right. So let's edit this. Let's customize it. Have my logo there. Hi, friend, name or friend. Easier personalization. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's go here. There we go. Perfect. And I'm going to go and paste this. You should have received a download for the free fall launch guide. You order on the site today. Hope it helps you. Provide the link right here. Da, 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 da. I'm going to leave it as is. We're going to go to finish. So once someone has read this, actually, I'm going to grab a link. Let me just grab the link as well. And this link we're going to use later because it's going to be a trigger for us. So now inside this email, okay, let's edit the email one last time. Provide the link for review right there. Awesome. And now we're going to go back to finish. Oop, I went too far. Okay. So now we're going to add a decision, a condition. Okay. So after a time delay, let's wait a day. We're going to then say, after a day, if they have not selected, some type of condition. So let's say if we go here, we want to delete this. Delete this. I want to add a condition. And the condition is if they have not clicked on a link. Oh, I was right. Okay. We're going to add a time delay like we had before. If they have not clicked on a link, then we're going to do yes and no. Would love to hear for you. Choose. Here's the link. Okay. So if they haven't clicked on the link after a day, then we're going to add something over here. We're going to add another email. So open the email or open the link to download. We're now going to go here and download and put in a different. Here we go. So now, what's I see you, Bart for Prime Minister. I love it. Thanks, broski. I appreciate you, man. So now that you're here, okay, we're gonna now do another create a new email, plain text, same same one, customize it. You can also do literal just plain text. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing where I have some text here and we're just going to put that in there. I'm telling them if they need some help with the guide. So it's been a few days that you downloaded the fall guide. Again, the tone in which I'm speaking to them is not to say, "Hey, you didn't respond to my last email." It's more like reminding them, pretend like they're half paying attention, and then you're just coaxing them along to give them the information, because if they are still getting the emails and opening them, they are interested. It's just they may not have a system or a process to make a decision on what they want to do with this yet. So we have a link in here now. I'm going to say finish. Okay, so now if they do, nothing happens. What happens now? So maybe the timeline for the special guide that we're doing is coming up, and we want to hear from you. We want to find out if they're going to be interested in joining inside the program here. Okay, so what does this mean? Maybe this time we're going to give them a 2 day wait. Okay, we're going to give them 2 days because we have something that we want to make sure that they're getting. Okay, now we're going to send them another email, and this email, we're going to do the same thing, customize. And you can see very quickly how if you write this out and plan it out beforehand, you can build the sequence quite easily. So now we got a couple emails, couple emails, couple emails, and we go back over here. Well, what if they clicked the link, meaning that they downloaded it? Let's go over here. We're going to find another email. All right, we're going to change this. I'm going to put this here. We're going to say, okay, if they have clicked, we don't pressure them, but we do want them to take an action. So let's click an action. We're going to remove them to the segment that they're currently in, if they have, and choose a segment, a different one. I'm going to go welcome sequence. And we're just going to create that because we don't have that. So now, if, and actually before that, I'm going to wait another time delay. Give them another day so that they give them another understanding. So here's we have it. We have somebody who downloaded one of our white papers, our leads, and they get the email with the link. They wait a day, and if they click the link, that means they probably downloaded it. We're gonna put them in a different campaign. We're gonna remove them from this one. We're gonna put them in the welcome sequence, which will welcome them to being like a member or a partner or anything like that, and say, okay, you made it. We want you to succeed. Here's how you can succeed. Welcome to the program. Here's how you can get involved. If they have not clicked on the link, after a day, they'll get another one. After 2 days, they'll get another one. And then over here, you can then put another step where you want to maybe put them into a different segment, right? You can then, or you can actually put them, oh, delete this step. Because if you put them in a different place, you can now say um, cold open or no open list. And now you can segment them and say, hey, these are people that have not responded well. And maybe you should consider doing a special deal for them, or having a special video link that they can click on to say, hey, we just want to check in with you. Maybe we can do a one on one call. They might need some more additional, because whatever they're doing is not helping, is not moving forward. But the more in depth you make your automation and your workflow, the better you can start to see the results are, because you're only talking to the people who want to engage with you. And that's something that social media and one-on-ones becomes more and more valuable towards that, because there's only so much you can do in a day, so many meetings you can have. And social media is, especially right now with Web 3.0 and all that meta world stuff, it's changing so actively. So I would definitely say you got to take a look at your emails, and you got to take a look at what you actually value. If it's true community and a better access to closing deals, email might be the best option for you. And it might be much superior than social media, which a lot of hype. I don't know how many deals people are closing on there. Now you have great opportunity to leverage, your audience to do certain things on social media. But in the long term, owning your content, owning the people, their information, specifically their emails, like even I'm using Flowdesk here. I can very easily download all of this into a CSV, all my subscribers, and bring it to MailChimp and do the exact same thing over there. No one platform owns the audience. They now know who you are, and then you can pivot in any which way that you want. I really hope this has helped, guys. And I hope that you've been able to glean something from this, because it's very valuable. I think anybody who's a small business, an entrepreneur, especially if you're a creator, speaking with your audience, if you're looking to close sales and generate leads and convert sales, email is a very powerful tool, especially if you are in more of those creative worlds, like an interior designer, like an artist, like somebody who has a small business, and you're looking to leverage the engagement that you can potentially have. Okay, like I said, we don't want to keep you guys too long. It is now 1:31. I'm 1 minute over, and for that, I'm very sorry. All right, guys, peace out. Have a great week. Bye for now.